Okay, that's all right. I hear people clocking, so that's not a problem. Anyway, welcome back. So today, measuring the center is what we're going to look into. And if we know in terms of measuring the center in terms of statistics, you're actually finding the spread. Okay, so basically the spread is to locate the middle or the center of the data. This is what's important in statistics. Previously, you talked about discrete data, you talk about continuous data. Now we're talking about measuring the center. Okay, there are three sets of measuring the center modes that we're going to look into. Number one would be the mean, second would be the median, and the third would be the mode. It's very straightforward. All right, so if we look in terms of the mean, in terms of its definition, we know that the mean is actually the average of your data. Okay, so depending if, let's just say for example in this class, all of you have done and you have achieved this certain grade of marks for the test. All right, so what we can do using statistics, and this is the brilliant version when it comes to statistics, you can actually take the mean. All right, when we take the mean, we're actually taking the average of the data. Okay, what it means by taking the average is we want to see out of the whole class here, about 27 for example, what is the average that everyone has achieved. There will be the highest, there will be the lowest. So if you take the highest and lowest and you add everyone up, divide by 27, then you will actually get your average. Okay, that's the mean. Now in terms of the formula, we can also represent the mean as this. Okay, what it means by this here is you see an X and you see a bar on top. So we can just say that this is X bar. We represent the mean usually as X bar. And that would be, okay, this sigma and also X divided by N. What it means in this case here is your X bar would be the mean, which is the average. The sigma X here is actually the sum of the data depending on the data itself. Right, as I've mentioned, there are 27 of you have taken the test. So each of you, we will add up maybe from 90 to 88 to 70, 65, 60, and so forth. Okay, and then we divide it by n. The n here is the number of the data values. All right. In this case here, the number of data values, as I've mentioned, would be 27 because there's 27 of you in the class. So we divide it by 27. Okay. Now that's the mean. We talk about median. If the mean is the average, the median is actually the middle value. All right, the middle value of an ordered, all right, of an ordered data. And what does it mean by an ordered data? Yes, it follows the consequent numbers. So let's just say if I have 27 of you in the class, most of you had 60, 70, 80. So 60 will go to 17, 80. You have to arrange the data according to its numbering, starting from 1 to 100 or to 200, depending on the different situations. All right. There are a few things that you need to know about this median over here. Okay, let's just say we have n data. Okay, now in terms of the data here, you have two types. You can have either n, which is an odd number, and of course you know your odd numbers would be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, and so forth. Okay, so just put this one here. Oops. Okay, the other one that you have would be even 2, 4, 6, and also 8, and also 0. Right, the 0 should be in front here anyway. So that's how it goes. You have even data and you have even odd data. You have to make sure that it has to be ordered. This is the key word here. Sometimes what they like to do is they like to mix up the data. they like to mix up the data and put 100 before, then 60, then 25, then 70. So you need to arrange them according to an ascending order. All right, that's the median. Now, the median here, as I've mentioned, is the middle value. It does not mean it is an actual value from the test itself. It's the ordering. Remember, we talked about the order. All right. So let's just say, if I have n as 13, all right, n is 13, I want to locate the middle value, not the actual value itself, not the numerical value, but the order. There is a formula for it. N plus 1, you divide it by 2. So in this case here, because n is 13, 13 plus 1 divided by 2 would be 14 divided by 2, and that will give you 7. All right. This 7 here is not to be confused of a value. It means it is the 7th order data. Okay. So in a case where it is like, let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. All right. The middle value is number 7. Okay. We will look into an example and you'll be able to see much clearer. But in the meantime, this is just basically part of the notes that you have to know in terms of its terminology. Okay. As I've mentioned, you also have even data. So if n is to 14, for example here, again, we substitute the value. N plus 1 divided by 2 is 2. 14 plus 1 divided by 2, and that will give you 15 divided by 2, and that will give you 7.5. Question here is, why is there a 7.5? And the reason here is because, as I've mentioned, it is an ordered data. When it's an ordered data and you have a 7.5 for an even collection of data, what it means here is it is between the 7th and the 8th data. All right, so it's between data number 7 and data number 8. Take the two values, divide it into 2, and that is your median for the particular set of data. Okay. Now we're going to the last part, which is mode. All right, last week we talked about the model class. All right, what's the definition for the model class? Anyone can remember from last week? Yes, Kali.
The one with the highest frequency.
Yes, the one with the highest frequency. So the mode here is actually the most appeared value. Okay, the most appeared value, or you can say is the most frequent value. All right. So in a case where you have 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 here is your mode. Okay, but we'll look into an example on that. Okay, so I will stop this recording because this is just part 1. Okay.